Hey, what's up people, Marco here, and today we're going to be doing the Soldado version 2 by Critical Minds. Alright, so I have it sitting on the Montana, also by Critical Minds. I'm going to give it a few hits, take it apart, talk about it a bit, then I'm going to show you how to build it per the request of RJ, who is one of the modders of Critical Minds. So it is a 22mm atomizer. It's nice and flush on all my boxes, all my tubes. Give it a shot and see how it vapes. Alright, so it's not one of those cloud chase type atomizers that you got. It's more on a flavor atomizer. Vents from the top. I'm going to take it apart and explain a little bit more how it works, what comes in the package, and all that jazz. So, and right off the bat, I guess I'm going to have to mention one con is the obnoxiously tight O-ring. Alright, right there. So this is what it looks like on the inside. So it has these 4 screws that fasten down one of the leads, and the center portion, which has 6 slots for you to fit your coils, or the other lead of your coils, so you can make a maximum of 6 of these babies. You can fit a maximum of 6 into this. So I'm going to take my build out so that I can show you more or less how I attached my coils. It was pretty tricky, but we're going to try to get it on camera. Just loosen up the screws here. Yeah, it's pretty freaking tight. All right. Get the leads out, and hopefully we can unscrew this little bad boy here. We're going to need something bigger. Alright, there. Yeah, pretty messy. Yeah, the leads out and get right to it. Anyway, the entire device is made of 304 grade stainless steel, including the screws and the center post. It's got these nice wells right there. Might as well make use of this huge ass fucking screwdriver here. Alright. Right there. Post holes are pretty narrow. I'm guessing they're about 1.5 to 1.7 mil in diameter. The top cap looks like this on the inside, so it's slightly conical, very mild coning on it. And the air holes are all based there in the top. Vents out through these nifty air holes right here. You have a 510 drip tip connection which screws out, and it comes with a wide bore for those of you who prefer long and deep inhales right there. So the interior is stainless steel. This looks like it's really thick Delrin. Could be Teflon, not quite sure. Has these fins on the top, keep your atomizer cool since it vents from the top. I like the fact that this thing acts like a roof of sorts to prevent, for vapors who puff into their atomizers to clear the air out before taking a pull. This thing acts like a roof to prevent your lips from getting burned, which was an issue with one of their earlier devices, the Omerta, which vents from the top or from the side depending on how you set it up. So, I mentioned it is mainly for flavor. You'll notice that it's very small given the fact that there's a roof on the top cap itself. Machining is great. I got this without any machine oil or any of that shit. I just had to rinse it out once just to make absolutely sure. But when I wiped it clean, there was no no burrings, no excess oil that got left over. So definitely top-notch quality control right there. All right, that's what it looks like. Okay, now we're going to attempt to build this thing. Okay, this is pretty tricky. I have it sitting on a dead ego. Make it easier for me. Okay, so I have 0.50 millimeter wire coiled around a 2.5 millimeter guide, which is my standard for almost all my RDAs. Okay, .50 millimeters is roughly about, I guess, 26 gauge, 24 gauge, something along those lines. Okay, so I have one lead longer than the other. Makes it easier for me to pop it into this hole right there. So I put one lead all the way through, like that. Yank it through, get it close as possible, and I wrap the other lead around like that. So you want to get it closer inwards because you don't want it to make contact with the top cap and cause any shorts. So I pull it through like that, and able to fasten down the lead right here. What I usually do is I tighten down on the center one, on the center post first, before attempting to tighten down on this lead right here. So I can wrap my thumb around it and pull it all the way through like that. Use a huge ass screwdriver to flatten down the Phillips head. Adjust it a little bit while I still can, and then tighten down on the screw like that. So you have something that looks a little bit like this. There you go. Now, in order to fire this baby up, I'm going to have to sit it on another mod because it's pretty hard to do it on the Montana. So bear with me for a bit. Let's make some adjustments on another box mod that I have. And we're going to adjust the coils on it. So typically I build this on a dual, but for purposes of simplicity, I'm going to keep this on a single for this video. Okay, there you go. So you're going to want to make sure that you have this lead fastened down nice and tight. You don't want it loosening up, causing any shorts or anything like that, or uneven burning on the coils. So, ooh, looks like we got it doing just that. So we don't want that to happen. Okay. There you go. I have this firing pretty high. It's about 4 volts, so that might be the reason why it's doing that. Well, anyway, I'm going to trim the leads out now, and try to get this thing to work properly. Okay. When you trim the lead, you're going to want to leave a little tail end out so that if you need to make further adjustments, you can, but make sure it's not making contact with any portion of the deck or the coil, because you don't want that. It's going to be really bitchy. So I'm going to pop the top cap on, make sure that it's not making contact with anything. So let's take a look and see. Inside view. Okay, so at least we don't have any shorts. My mod hasn't blown up in my face yet. So let's give it a shot on the Montana. I haven't popped any cotton in, so we're not going to be able to take any hits on it yet. Let's give it a shot on the Montana first. Tighten down nice and fast. Okay, there you go. Yep, it's glowing the way we want it to glow. So at least we did something right. Now we're going to give it a shot. Gotta pop the cotton in and we should be good. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons, where to get it, who to talk to if you want to get it, and we should be all set. Take the cap off and put the cotton in. I usually prefer the heat on a dual coil, but for purposes of this video, it's just going to be on a single. So hopefully we can get this in one go using organic cotton. Roll it up. This is probably the trickiest part, which is getting the cotton to shoot through the lead without getting in, without the screw getting in the way. So you're going to need to make sure your cotton, the end of your cotton isn't all that thick. So you're going to want to thin it out a bit. Of course, this isn't my everyday build. So you have to excuse the sloppiness of it, but this is pretty much how you coil it. Wicking varies from person to person, so you may wick it another way. Okay, so we have it nice and tight, nice and snug. Just trim the excess portions off and soak it up. Okay, so something around this length. So I just tuck the rest of it underneath, or whatever I can tuck under. Looks like my cotton cloud might get a bit fat on this one, so you want to make sure that none of them go beyond the juice well or the deck. That way, it doesn't get eaten up by the top cap, and it doesn't make it any harder to pull out the cap from the O-ring any harder than it already is. Okay, so that's pretty much what it looks like. Back to the big-ass screwdriver, make sure everything is nice and fastened down. We can worry about that later on. Suck it up. Some 60-40 shit. Never mind if it looks like you're flooding it, because you're not. The well is pretty deep, and it runs across the entire diameter, or the entire radius of each side. So we just pop it back on. Doesn't matter where the air holes are facing, because they're all on the top anyway. And we screw it back onto the Montana for the last time on this video. It just looks more complicated because I'm using the Montana on it, but believe me, it's fairly simple to get the coil in. Okay, here goes. Okay, there you go. All right. Now, talk about it. Pros and cons. Well, pros, one is the flavor output on it. The flavor output on it is definitely more prominent than atomizers that would have the airflow on the side, or most other atomizers on the market right now. So definitely this is a flavor addy. They do have cloud chase versions of this. Version 1 is more for clouds, although it does have a respectable amount, but version 2 is definitely for all you flavor chasers out there. If that's your speed, if you're a big fan of of nicotine delivery, throat hit, flavor retention, this atomizer definitely delivers. So that's pro number 1. Pro number 2 is I like the fact that it has this shield right here to make sure that you don't get any burning sensation on your lips if you take a draw like if you do it that way. If you clear the air from the atomizer first, you don't have any burning sensation there. So they were able to remedy the con on the Omerta, which was one of their earlier RDAs, and they were able to fix it with the Soldado V2. Third pro rather is it accommodates roughly about any style of vaping that you got. So if you're into chillaxed vaping and things like that, you can use the standard 510 drip tip on it. Comes with a whiteboard if you're a fan of that, and this thing is Teflon or Delrin coated. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's pretty heat resistant. Looks really awesome. Looks at tits on the Montana. So it's got that nice flask look. Sits flush on my boxes, my tubes. Sits nicely on my Phenom too. So just about all the mods that I have here accommodate the atomizer very well. The bottom of it, I'm sorry, I lied. I'm gonna have to show you the bottom, so I'm gonna have to take it off the mod itself again. It's copper pin, which you can adjust to some extent, but typically for floating for mods rather that have adjustable pins, manual or floating, it's very easy for you to get this and make contact. No rattles or anything like that on my other mods, so we're all good there. Now for the cons. Con number 1, and the most prominent one, is that it's not for beginners. It's definitely not for newbies. I mean, RDAs in general are not for newbies, but this one in particular, even for, I've been vaping for quite a while, a good 2 to 3 years now, and my god, this thing was a royal pain in the ass to build the first time. In fact, when RJ requested that I make a build video on it, I was asking him, dude, are you fucking sure you want me to do that? Because that's going to look really embarrassing. But once you get the hang of it, it's fairly simple, and you can build multiple coils with ease because of the orientation on the poles on the inside. What I didn't get to show you is the fact that none of them will cause your coils to overlap excessively. So the way they're oriented is that your coils crisscross one another. They don't make direct contact that way, so it minimizes the problem with shorts in the middle or in the center post, things like that. Con number 2 is that it's pretty restrictive since it doesn't have airflow control. It would have been nice if it did, but the draw on it is just right. I mean, I'm more of a tight draw guy. This thing is a bit loose, but it's not excessively loose. Not like other atomizers that have vents on the side that you can adjust all the way. That's way too loose, and you lose way too much flavor that way. So top vented is definitely one of the ways to go. I'm more a fan of bottom slot vented, but from the top it tastes just fine, and it's really amazing. So. That's the Soldado V2 for you. The price point on it is also really accessible. It's at locally it's at 2,000 Philippine pesos. All right. For international pricing, I'm gonna send. You're gonna have to send them a PM. I'm gonna put a link on the description, and that's pretty much it. All the other links I'm gonna put on the description. So if you want to get in touch with the modders, I'm gonna put their Facebook page there. The group for Critical Minds is also gonna be there, and yeah, it looks amazing. Looks fucking amazing on the Montana. So yeah. Really awesome stuff. So again, RJ and Alfie, thank you for forking this over. Having a blast with it right now. In fact, it's what I have sitting on the Montana almost 24/7. Check it out. Yeah, looks the tits. Awesome fucking shit. Yeah. All right. So if you can get once you get the hang of it, it's fairly simple once you get the hang of it. A pain in the ass the first few times though, but really awesome performance by way of flavor. Vapor, respectable amount. It's not, it can't chuck massive clouds. I mean, I haven't gotten it to yet, but I'm sure somebody's going to figure out how. And I hope that somebody posts a video as well. So please do and help me out. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I hope you guys had a great time. Gonna catch y'all soon. I have a few more videos to finish up, so catch y'all around the flip side. Take care, guys. Cheers.